There you have it, boys and girls, ladies and gents. The 2001 Dodge Cummins is back home where she belongs after just a little short, brief trip to the doctors down the road. Had to go to the mechanics because I could not wrap my head around why this truck did not have heat, and I was pretty much kind of like on the money with the radiator issue and stuff, which I shouldn't even call it a radiator issue because of the size of the radiator in this truck and the amount of coolant that pumps through this and stuff. These things obviously are meant to be worked and stuff, and they're designed that way. So the radiator remaining a little bit, I guess, on the cooler side over by the radiator cap and all that is a-okay, perfectly normal. And I was starting to think that anyways, because after I did the radiator and stuff, it started to just kind of click in my head. Now, remember, this is my first diesel truck, so things are new to me, and I'm just learning and getting into it and figuring this stuff out. So I had concerns because I'm used to gas trucks like that and the radiators becoming hot after running them and stuff like that. But the cooling systems on these, they're meant to barely, I don't know, they don't move water or coolant like those cooling systems in gas trucks do. So everything, long story short, everything with the truck is good to go. The cooling system, the guy said that I did a great job with the radiator install, the water pump and all that. I did a great job, he said. So everything looks good. And the trouble with the heat, why was my 2001 5.9 liter 24 valve Cummins not blowing any air out of the vents? Why was the blower motor not coming on? Well, it was an electrical issue, and it got traced back to the fuse box right inside the driver's side door there on the side of the dash. You have the fuse door that you pull open, and there's a 10 amp fuse. I believe it's a 10 amp fuse that is in the number 2 spot, which is for the blower motor. Well, apparently the contacts inside there have just gotten worn over the course of this truck's life, and with the truck being older and stuff and different fuse taps and things, the fuse was good in there, but the prongs on the fuse just weren't making a good contact in the slot there that they have to go into. So we got it figured out. It's fixed. I have heat, and let me tell you, it was a treat to drive the truck back down the road and feel some air coming out of the vents. And it was warmer air. It was warm air. It didn't get too warm because I literally only drove it down the street. So it didn't really have too much time to really heat up and get good air flowing through it and stuff. But nonetheless, we do have airflow and warm air at that. So we are back in business. The truck is ready to go. We can drive it now for the time being, and we can start to plot our next move. And when I say plot our next move, I've already been doing some thinking. Now that this is out of the way, and I know it's not anything major, we don't have to rip the dash out and buy a new dash, because if we had to rip the old dash out, it would never have gone back in because it's all cracked. I would have had to replace the dashboard with a new one. But now that I know that none of that stuff has to happen, we are good to move forward. This was just a cheap little hiccup that was standing in my way. It's all figured out. It's done. It's over. And I know that we can start planning ahead for the future and things that I want to do with this truck over the winter. And some things on that list include injectors. Turbski. We want to look at the Turbski. Definitely, probably at least rebuilding the stock turbo on this just for the course of the winter, so that I know that that thing is good and is doing its job 100% and flawlessly for the course of the winter. But the end goal would be to have a completely new turbo installed on this truck for next spring, summer at the latest, so that we can have some new go fast parts on this truck and really enjoy it come next summer. So injectors, turbo, manifold on it. We want to look into getting a manifold for the truck, and there's a few other things. Those are some pretty big things that I did just list off though, and well, I'm not going to tell you quite when I get stuff for it or when I'm planning on doing it, but just know that those things are in the plans for the future to get done over the course of winter for next spring and summer, so that we have it pepped up a little bit and we are getting a little bit more power and more speed out of it, so that we can just have fun come next summertime and really enjoy this truck thoroughly. So I will start to price shop and hunt down parts and figure out where I'm going to order them from and start to get that done here. I might wait till after the holidays to really dive into it and start getting the parts and ordering them, but it is going to start happening soon. Other things that need to be done on it, and this stuff needs to be done before winter, and I'm thinking about possibly even doing some of this weekend, but we need to investigate the brakes. So I may grab, I don't have a jack out here at the house, I may grab the jack from my boss's house and grab some stuff to do the brakes, at least the rear brakes. The front brakes won't be that bad if I have to tear that stuff apart when the weather is cold, and I mean, even if it's snowing, you know, I can do it, but the front and rear brakes both need to be done horribly bad. But if I can, while I have somewhat decent nice weather this weekend, at the very least get those rear brakes done, I'll be a happy camper, because those are what is most time consuming and is going to give me a headache, and I'm going to get frustrated. I remember doing them on my silver 01 that I sold prior to buying this truck, and let me tell you, well, it was an experience, and I think I said some words that I didn't even know existed. But yeah, I might go and check on some brake parts tomorrow and try to pick them up if things are readily available, and see if we can't get that done over the weekend, at least get the rear brakes done and out of the way, so then we don't only have the front brakes left. But brakes definitely need to get done for wintertime, and we need to get shocks on this thing ASAP. So shocks and brakes are probably looking like they're up here on the priority list, and then like turbo injectors, all that stuff, those are more of wants and things that I just want to get done for it over the course of the winter so that we can enjoy it more come next spring and summer. But that is the update with the truck. It did go into the shop today. Like I said, it was the fuse for the blower motor not making good contact, so we bent the prongs on the fuse a little bit so it made better contact, and we have airflow in the truck again. We have heat. Everything is good with my radiator and water pump install. He said the engine sounds good, everything seemed to be in line and in check with it, and the front end is tight on it, so we are basically good to go and ready to rock once we get shocks and brakes done on this thing for winter. And those are two absolute must have done items that I need to get on this truck. Once the shocks and brakes are done on it, we can just drive the hell out of it until something breaks, or until I get enough cash flow up in the bank account to start buying those parts that I just want to start swapping out on the truck, just so that I know there's brand new fresh parts on the truck and I'm getting a little bit more performance out of it. Oh, what the heck else was there that I was gonna say? So once the brakes and the shocks are done on the truck, then we wait for the snow to fly, and we give these 35s a good shot in the snow and see how they perform. But I'm not going to really expect them to perform that well. So if you look at the siping in these, yeah, there's a little bit of siping in these tires, but it's nothing crazy. So I don't know. They have the snowflake emblem on them. Where is that? Where did I see the snowflake emblem? Somewhere on this tire I saw a snowflake emblem, and it is... Maybe I didn't see a snowflake emblem. Maybe I just saw this M&S right here, which would stand for what I believe to be mud and snow. So I'm not quite sure how these tires will hold up with the snow because of the lack of siping in them, but we're going to give them a shot. We're going to see how they do, and if they seem to be kind of crappy or whatever, we'll just pull them off and we'll get some better tires on the truck to make it through the snow and in the wintertime and all that, and then we'll just throw these back on next summer. But what I'm hoping for is that these things do a good job, or a decent enough job, to where we can get by with these in the wintertime and then look to get some nicer new tires next spring and summer to run on the truck. But when I say new wheel or new tires, I mean like new wheels and tires for next spring and summer, because I don't want to run these exact wheels on the truck for that long. You know, I'm gonna run them, but these are gonna turn into designated winter wheels, and I want to get a nice negative offset rim on this truck with a nice fresh new tire that I can just run in the nice weather, spring and summer, and then use these rims right here for winter rims and have a good snow tire setup on them. And that's where my head is at right now. That is what I'm thinking. So Go Fast parts are in the works and being thought about and planned out. We're going to start shopping around and seeing what I can come up with. And you can look forward to seeing a brake job and new shocks being put on this girl very soon here in the near future, before the winter weather really starts to hit us here in New York. That is going to do it for this video though, so drop a like on it for this truck having heat back and me not freezing my balls off every morning now when I drive to work, because the temperatures are freezing here in New York currently. And if you're new to the channel and stopping in for the first time, which most of you probably are because this channel is in its beginning stages, hit that subscribe button so that you can join in on the fun, join the family, and come along on this adventure to see what happens with my 2001 5.9 liter 24 valve Cummins that you see right there in front of us. There's going to be big things happening over the winter. Come next spring and summer, we're going to go fast, we're going to have fun. I'll catch you guys soon.